What is going on, everyone? It is Rosso, and I'm back with another video on Disney Infinity, but this time it's with sad news. Or is it? I will admit, the thumbnail and the video title is a bit clickbait, but I honestly have a lot of answers for you today, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. I have to admit, this is a bit of a bash on Disney, but please believe me when I say I love Disney, I love Disney Infinity, and I just feel like people have to know what it is I know about Disney Infinity and why we're losing our favourite game. Let's start with what happened to Disney Infinity and the reasons why, plus a few you definitely did not know. I made this call back on day one. Like many of you, I was over the moon at the thought of Disney Infinity and Disney Infinity collectible figures. However, I was always questioning why Disney chose the characters they did. And in my last video, you heard me mention it was all about money. I'll link that below. Now, believe you me, it definitely is about money. Following the success of Skylanders, originally a small game about Spyro the Dragon and friends, Disney jumped at the opportunity to make their own version, especially seeing as they already had a bank full of characters to choose from. However, then the mistakes started rolling in. Mistake 1. They offered the creation of the toys to a company who had only ever worked in a digital space. They had worked with Disney before and had created other titles. However, without an in-house gaming development team, Disney had to outsource that work. Credit should, however, be given to this team at Avalanche because they were very, very successful and created amazing figures and gameplay that you and I do love. Mistake 2. They offered the manufacturing to the same company who had only ever worked in the digital space. They manage the production of the toys, and it's definitely no easy task. Experience and expertise are critical in this process. I'm not saying they didn't have consultants to help with the process, but managing stock levels and inventory is not easy. Mistake 3. Too much damn stock. After Avalanche published their figures, they had manufactured twice as many characters, in some instances, basically burning money in the format of Hulk. With the increase in popularity of the game following the partnership with Marvel, Avalanche and Disney overcompensated, resulting in overproduction. Nintendo, on the other hand, had estimated this perfectly. They'd even managed to turn some of their lower production toys into a sort of trading game where people were paying ridiculous prices for rare figures. There can always be too much of a good thing, Disney, and I think this is what they did. Mistake 4. Marvel. Where do I even start with Marvel? When the demand came in with the projected sales figures skyrocketing for the new Marvel figures, Disney took their chance to exploit other avenues within the field. Yes, we started with the much loved Avengers, but then we got odd Marvel characters like Iron Fist. We don't want an Iron Fist. Now, I know how multi-packs work. You put a less popular character in with a more popular character, so that figure sells more and people have half the collection, then they want to finish the collection, yada yada yada. But this is not the way to solve it. Mistake 5. Like mistake 4 and probably the next few mistakes, it's about Marvel. From day one, Disney Infinity said they were going to bring out characters we wanted, even claiming to listen to their customers and provide what they wanted. This only happened in the last 6 months, and this was emphasised with the promise of Peter Pan, which we're now no longer going to get. We're going to get Finding Dory, and we're going to get Alice Through the Looking Glass playsets, and then we're done. Instead of getting the characters unanimously loved by Disney fans around the world, we get characters released with partnered movies. In my last video, I spoke about all the characters that we were going to have. Now, that's not going to happen. Now, I know a thing or two about marketing, and this is an absolute goldmine. You can't tell me more people want to buy Baymax than the adorable Simba or Mowgli. Toys have always accompanied movies, but you've got to give the market what they want. Instead of the classics, you give us Iron Fist and random Clone War characters. Think about the amount of people who would love Mowgli compared to the odd stylized green goblin that looks like no other reference material. And then it doesn't even come with the story. Mistake 6. Story mode, toy box mode, and too many discs. The stories were small. They were mini games. They just didn't work. They were never standalone games. Selling it as a 10-hour play just wasn't enough. In the toy box, I'll give them it. They have to start off to test the water, and the best thing to do is to get the game out there, and the developers can start working on 2.0, include the features we want, and they can sell more and improve the following game for the next summer release date. With the toy box, we had an attempt to allow Avalanche to give the customers the characters they wanted without having to build a game around it. Now this is great, but too many people came to expect the game, which each character never had. Disney were never transparent about this at the start. And then we got the characters we wanted, but they didn't come with a game. This led to the characters being boring quickly, and after using the ground pound move on an unsuspected Pixar lamp, the lack of online multiplayer and community didn't encourage us to play anymore. Their build feature was fine, and it claimed to have been refined to aid building in 2.0, actually resulting in a more difficult and cumbersome process. The addition of interior design functions in the later versions of the game started to cross the line into sim-style gaming, emphasising the fact that Disney had a lack of direction and were trying to cover way too much ground. Too many discs. Of course, as the game developers, more space was required to meet the demand of the new game. However, the lack of flawless transition between the disc, especially keeping those worlds you created and the toys you had left behind, and the toys you had collected, I felt like I was being conned out of all my hard work. Not to mention the inability to carry figures between games, leading to me having to switch between disc and disappointingly tell friends, sorry, no, we can't play that character on that level, it's kind of not how it works. Disney Infinity. Disney and Disney Avalanche were starting to react to this recently and introduced the Disney Battlegrounds and Toy Box Takeover in attempts to allow the customer to buy a game without actually having to buy a new disc. This is how I always imagined the game was going to be, and I was very excited at the prospect of this being how it was going to be in the future. But doesn't look like we're going to get it. Mistake 7. Disney itself. Disney is its own worst enemy, but clever enough to know when to get out. Disney has plenty more eggs in its basket, but as a result, some have to fall out. With competition for other Disney franchise games and video game marketplace, and inside constraints within Disney regarding licensing, it means we found ourselves getting a set of Rebel figures instead of some of our favourite Star Wars or other Disney characters. However, Disney are clever enough to know when they're failing in one aspect of their company to pull out because they're successful in others. So we have to commend them for that. Mistake 8. Full steam ahead. Did everyone feel like they were constantly getting the new characters, but none of the characters they actually wanted? Because that was intentional. To build the hype of the company and the smaller, less loved characters, they put out these characters to test the water and build a following behind Disney Infinity. As the market grew, hints would appear that classic characters were going to be revealed. To keep up the momentum of the game, that character would be released and we would have a character we wanted and be left thinking, doesn't matter about the other characters, we're fine. Again, more isn't better. In the end, Disney couldn't sustain the amount of production and they could not sell the stock they'd overproduce, resulting in a massive company loss and eventually a loss of 300 jobs. Not to mention the countless YouTubers and reviewers and everyone associated with Disney Infinity losing their jobs as well. I do genuinely feel absolutely terrible for these people who had put so much work in over the last few years, and I'm immensely grateful for the work that they've done, and their work will still take pride of place on my bookshelf and for many years. I just want to thank them for the work they've done, and I know for sure Disney will come back and it'll be refined and it'll be better than ever. And maybe we'll get the characters we finally wanted. I know this may have been a bit of a rant, but I wanted to get it out there. I want people to know what it is that I know about Disney Infinity. If you wish to comment, share, or subscribe, please do. I have no idea what else is going to come on this channel, but maybe more like this. Do you want more rants? Okay, I'm going to go. Dust my Disney Infinity characters. See you later. Bye.